Rich Eisen, NFL Network host, Rich Eisen Show on Roku, and he's getting ready to start the pregame show on pregame festivities on NFL Network. Should be starting in about an hour from now. How about we welcome Rich Eisen?
All right. Yeah, thank you. No, really. Okay. Let's go down the road.
Let's go.
Just fist pump. You never know if there's a
Having
virus
done
going
the Super Bowl pregame show. And
that was a choice.
That was, you have to do it every year.
Well, I mean, the guest has to make a choice. Like, do you go down the road?
Yeah.
Do you say hello to you first?
No. You go down.
Do you show your ass to the camera as walking?
Right, yeah.
I mean, I think I've counted. This is a 7-camera shoot, which I think sets the record for most cameras in a shoot in a pickleball bar in New Orleans for the Super Bowl. You're setting standards as always.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. You gotta go around the room. You got to dap everybody up.
That's what I figured, because I wanted to pay respects and also explore the studio space. This is a setup, man.
Yeah, did a great job.
Have you played pickleball yet? Have you done it?
No, but the Danettes, there's a big match coming up tomorrow. Okay, if I said it's Fritzy and Seton versus Marv and Paulie in pickleball, nobody has played.
Is there a choice for the Meteor?
The Meteor, that it doesn't happen.
No, I'm just saying, like,
there is
hard
a chance.
Pass on seeing that. I can't imagine this is going to be a great competition.
Now, Todd did play high school tennis.
I was just behind second doubles at Lincoln High School in Brooklyn.
What were you?
Just behind second doubles.
What were you in high school?
I played very, very little. I practiced with people that had all kinds of injuries and health issues.
Oh,
and
my
once in a
word.
while, they'd let me get out there.
So, okay, I'll take Todd.
Okay.
I'm sold.
Todd and Seton. That's all
great.
it took. Yeah.
Tertiary doubles.
Todd said that if there was like a kid in a wheelchair, then they would have Todd go out and play against him.
I thought the coach was joking. It's like, you see Fred over there? It's like the one that's got what happened to him. It's like,
God.
yeah, you're going to play him possibly. It's like, and he's possibly play him. We haven't decided if you're going to be the one good enough to win that one.
I love it. Same old Fritz, just sharing a little bit too long, just a little bit too much.
Can't I just play one set, just one
an
game?
extra sentence or two.
I thought it's not ironic, but it's interesting that the NBA hijacked the NFL this week with the Lucas stuff.
Yeah.
Now the NFL did try to bring it back a little bit with the Myles Garrett, stuff.
Yes,
but still,
thanks to Myles Garrett for demanding a trade like he's Jimmy Butler. I do remember it was 2 years ago. I guess this is part and parcel for whenever the Chiefs and the Eagles play in a Super Bowl. It was Kevin Durant's acquisition in Phoenix, where we were, which was something. There's also another similarity to Myles Garrett, because I believe it was the Super Bowl in L.A. Between the Rams and the Bengals that started off with Kyler Murray's agent putting out a press release basically saying that Kyler Murray wants out. And, yes, there is something to – I remember you came on my show in L.A. on that Monday where we were talking for the first 10 minutes about Kyler Murray cleansing his Instagram account of anything to do with the Arizona Cardinals. And now here we are starting off this Super Bowl week. Myles Garrett saying he wants out.
Yeah, but and this is interesting that he would want out. I'm just curious how likely this. If you're the Browns, you got to move on from Deshaun. Maybe you draft a quarterback. Do you move on from Myles Garrett? Like, is this a complete reset, rebuild?
Yes, I think they should take advantage of this in the fact that Andrew Berry trading Myles Garrett. Let's say last week, it would be like, what are you doing? Now this week, it's like, well, this is all you can do.
Yeah.
So you can take advantage of the fact that Myles says he wants out, less heat on the whole franchise that has a ton of heat on it. But you also have an asset that is one of the greatest assets to put out there at age 29. Top of his game, reigning defensive player of the year, great guy in the community, great guy in the locker room. I mean, this should be, let's just say that Myles Garrett should net more first-round picks than Luka Doncic did in his trade. That's for sure.
Yeah. But also, we had Albert Breer, Monday Morning Quarterback, on yesterday, and he said he thinks Detroit would be.
Oh, yeah.
They have all these picks. As we know, because we've been doing this a long time, that window to win a Super Bowl is a lot tighter than what you think. And as a fan, you're like, a Niners fan. Man, we got a window of opportunity a couple of years ago. You don't. And if you're Detroit, all you need is one title. Like that, just get one Super Bowl title. I'd go all in.
You're not wrong. I mean, look at the town that we're in right now, right? They got their one Super Bowl title. It sure was worth it. We're still talking about it.
Yeah.
And this town will never forget it. And if you need a reservation this week, just hang out with a New Orleans Saint. You know, they'll be able to roll out a red carpet for you. It's also a situation too where we're going to find out real fast if what I think you believe, for the lack of better putting words in your mouth, but I think it's a generally wise thing to say that the Washington Commanders now are going to be a hot destination for anybody that wants to win now or win for a long time, to join an organization that has changed completely from just 2 years ago with a generational talented quarterback. We'll find out if Myles Garrett could be the first one to be, that's the place where I want to go. Like, let's get me there. We'll see if Cooper Kupp might do the same thing. And Washington and Detroit are great destinations for Cleveland, too, because you get him out of the conference.
But we also talked about this on Monday, and that is Matthew Stafford. Like, if you're the Rams, do you want to kind of privately, professionally move on from Matthew Stafford?
Hell no.
And
I'll
Cooper
just say
Kupp
that right now. No.
Financially, like, you can move on from him.
Oh, my God. Like, why would the Rams take a guy who fits perfectly there, loves the area, is great to have around and great to be a face front person in the community, and that's just for starters, but is so good at playing quarterback right now and doesn't seem to be defraying at all.
Blame Albert Breer. Don't yell at me,
No,
Rich.
you know what? I'm going to use you as a vessel, Dan, because it is. Why would anybody willingly put themselves into the mosh pit right now at this quarterback
get rid
class?
of Cooper Kupp?
That one, it might need 31, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't, but I don't know what other plans they have. I don't know what their cap sheet is.
And I said to Albert Breer, they're 7 points away from beating the Eagles.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to win that game. I thought that Stafford would lead them down, score a touchdown, kick the extra point. I mean, they're 20 yards away, and we would be talking about the Rams.
I know, yeah. And Jalen Carter just blew that thing straight up, though. It's crazy how playoff action will always expose just any fissure of a weakness in your team, and on occasion, interior pass blocking for the Rams or just protecting their quarterback in general was the problem for them starting 1-4, staying healthy up front. I mean, Jalen Carter blew that thing up. They couldn't block him at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
So, or didn't block him.
He's Rich Eisen, NFL Network host, and 8.5 hour.
Can confirm, Dan.
You can confirm 8.5 hours.
Can confirm.
Why not 9 or why not 8?
Great question. You're halfway there. Let's just I prefer to round down. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's kind of funny how you can run into people in life and for their big week or their big convention or whatever in their business, they're like, this is like my Super Bowl, they say. Well, I'm like, well, the Super Bowl is actually my Super Bowl. And so it's 8.5 hours, and I'm doing my show every day from here for 3 hours. You're coming by today, so I appreciate that.
Do you have an understudy on NFL Network?
Well, what do you mean?
For
like,
Sunday.
Where like they hand out the playbill prior to the show, and today's host will play by.
Yeah, I'm going to Broadway.
So it is.
And all of a sudden.
I don't know. I don't want to find out, I guess. But, Colleen Wolfe is there and co-hosts with me along with it's wild. They put up on the screen all the people that are going to be on it on a graphic. And obviously, I look at it to see if I have shoulder on somebody or if they're taller than me in this graphic. But that's a me problem. But there's like 24 of us.
Do you hate football?
No.
After Sunday? No. After the pregame show.
No, I miss it. There's this, Dan. I mean, there's nothing beats for what we do.
But 8.5 hours.
I understand that. I get excited when the buses leave the hotel, like a child. Oh, look, mommy, daddy, the wheels on the bus, they go round and round. That's literally, that's my day, but it is a lot in life I'm happy to have.
We jumped the shark on criticizing the officials or thinking the officials are slanted in one way, that the commissioners had to address this. You got the referees have had to address this. Yes. Like, we're overly critical. We think that they're somehow rigged. And But could there be more transparency? Would be what I would ask.
Well, what are you looking for? Like to
officials, pull reporter, like after the Saints-Rams game a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I need full transparency there. I think that's only fair. And as we get deeper and deeper into gambling, I think you got to have that transparency so it doesn't feel like there's a Wizard of Oz. Don't look behind the curtain here.
I just don't know how a Wizard of Oz would work. That's the whole thing. How would that work? Who makes the decision in what room, and how is it communicated to a vast
No, but they should be
number of
available,
people?
though, Rich.
Like the officials after the game, like
Yes.
a press conference or something?
I think that let's say it's in the playoffs. Is that asking too much?
I think the transparency that you might be looking for is something that I do believe they do in the spring leagues, which is you listen in on the conversation.
I like that.
As the officials at headquarters and at the facility are talking about it.
Yes.
So you actually hear it. And so you know who might be personally responsible to say, I can't tell if that's a first down or not by Josh Allen. I just think that, if they do put a chip in the football and they do have lasers, I want refs with freaking lasers on their head, and you figure out to the nth millimeter where to spot the football, there will always be people who go, who owns the chip? Who owns the chip company? Take a look at who owns the chip company.
Who
'Cause
invested?
They once went to school
Yes.
with Robert Kraft's great-grandson, and then all of a sudden it's like that GIF, that you see from on every conspiracy tinfoil hat site, So I don't know where it ends or where it begins. I know I'm accused of being a company man when it comes to that. I don't care because I just definitely know there's no chance that somebody is sitting there or, for instance, in the NFC Championship game on the take going, okay, I hope Drew Brees throws it in my direction. Please have him throw it in my direction because there's no way I'm calling pass interference if there's anything close to contact in this very moment.
Even helmet to helmet.
I know this is going to be a great time for me to make sure I get that money. I just don't know how that happens. I know there are gamblers out there who would be sitting there thinking I'm completely naive. I just know how hard, and you know it too. And that's why Travis Kelce said this week, when he was asked in his media session, do you have a question for the press? And his answer was, yeah, why are you puffing this story up? Because you know how hard I work. You should, as a professional, know how hard we all work, how long it takes to get to this point for a third straight year. My God, and you're thinking that there's some zebra out there putting their thumbprint on it. I just know that it's just the same thing that we were talking about with the Patriots dynasty. It's the same thing we're going to talk about with the next dynasty.
Huh? No, I'm kidding.
But
however, with that said,
awful call.
However,
I get it, Seton. I totally hear you, man. Bill Burr was on my show last week. He is adamant that there's somebody in the NFL that's massaging things. He says he doesn't think he's fixing it, massaging it for the Chiefs.
Wow.
And trust me, when Luka got traded this week, I got a very similar text from him basically saying the NBA's massaging that because the Lakers need to get puffed up, and he is a diehard sports fan.
He needs to get a life.
Well, listen, I just think it is I shouldn't say this about him. Because I don't know if he gambles. But just anybody who gambles, I think, does have a serious thought about this is too easy that it's happening over and over and over again for the Chiefs.
The NFL doesn't want to go out of their way to say, we want the best team in football to be in Kansas City. It doesn't. None of it makes any sense there. And we like the Chiefs because they finally rid us of the New England Patriots. Like, thank God. And then all of a sudden we got tired of the Chiefs.
Right.
Now we can't wait. Like, who would have thought, hey, I can't root for the Chiefs. I'm rooting for the Eagles. Like,
Dan, I spent a night of my life in January rooting for Notre Dame, okay? So I can understand what the heck is going on in this world, that strange bedfellows can be made. I spent a night.
So Notre Dame, Ohio
and I got
State.
nothing for it. I got nothing for it.
All right, before I let you go, 30 seconds. Who would benefit more legacy-wise, Andy Reid or Patrick Mahomes with another Super Bowl?
I think Mahomes, because Andy Reid is already on a certain metrics above Bill Belichick statistically. And I know this would make Andy Reid 3-3 in Super Bowls, and he's only a 500 coach in Super Bowls. But Mahomes is chasing Tom Brady, and he can run him down. He's already run him down as the best quarterback as a 20-year-old, and he's got a long way to go. Even if he wins on Sunday, he's halfway there, to use the Bon Jovi phrase. So he is 100% on a path. And could you imagine if Brady lost to him in 2020, where we would be right now in terms of this conversation?
Yeah.
So Brady's win over him just helped keep him at a distance, but he has an opportunity to get there. So I would go with Mahomes.
He's Rich Eisen, NFL Network host. It's only 8.5 hours.
It started 3 seconds ago.
Pre-game coverage. The Rich Eisen Show on Roku. I'll be on there a little later on this morning. This afternoon. Yeah.